The ocean, it covers more than 70% of our planet. It's just this incredible force, right? All power and beauty, and it's literally the engine that drives our entire climate. And think about this. For billions of years, it's been the cradle of all life. I mean, everything on Earth started there. It's this one huge, interconnected system that keeps all of us alive.
But something's wrong. Deep down, beneath the waves, there's this silent, creeping sickness, and it's turning that cradle of life into a tomb. The big mystery is, what's doing this?
So let's dive in. We're starting an investigation, and our target is a contamination that's everywhere. It's massive, it's pervasive, and here's the kicker. Most of the time, you can't even see it.
So this is the big question, isn't it? What is poisoning our oceans? We're going to follow the evidence. We're going to expose the culprits and really get a handle on the scale of the damage. But stick with me, because we might just find a twist you're not expecting. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. You'd think the story of ocean pollution starts, well, in the ocean, but it doesn't. Our investigation leads us somewhere else entirely. The primary crime scene? It's the land.
Get ready for this number. A whopping 80%. 80% of all marine pollution starts on land. So what does that mean? It means the prime suspect in this whole mystery, well, it's us. The evidence is literally flowing from our farms, our cities, our factories, straight into the water.
All right, our first infiltrator is a classic case of good intentions gone horribly wrong. See, we use fertilizers, nitrogen and phosphorus, to make our crops grow, to create life on land. But when all that stuff runs off into the sea, it's like giving the algae a massive overdose of energy drinks. They explode in these huge blooms, suck up all the oxygen, and create these giant, suffocating dead zones where absolutely nothing can live. The next culprit is totally invisible. It's carbon dioxide. The ocean is like a giant sponge for CO2, which sounds good, right? But it triggers this chemical reaction. And to put it simply, it makes the water more acidic. It is fundamentally changing the entire ocean's chemistry on a global scale. It's wild. And wow, the list of these infiltrators just keeps going. It's a real rogues gallery. We've got these stubborn pesticides like DDT, industrial chemicals like PCBs that used to be in all our electronics. Then you've got your heavy metals, oil from spills, even radioactive stuff. And of course, the one we all see, plastic, which, breaks down into tiny pieces but never, ever really goes away.
Now, the scary part is, these infiltrators don't just dilute and disappear into the big blue ocean. Nope. They get into the food web. They build up. And they kick off this devastating chain reaction, a cascade of damage that can go on for decades.
Just look at the story of DDT. I mean, this stuff was banned years ago. But on Catalina Island, scientists were totally stumped. They'd reintroduced bald eagles, but the population just wasn't bouncing back. Turns out, this toxic ghost from the past was still working its way up the food chain, making the eagle eggshells so thin they'd just break. An entire new generation couldn't even be born. Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom. There is a little bit of good news hidden in the data. This chart here shows the levels of another nasty chemical group, PBDEs, in bird eggs. And you can see, right after they were phased out, the levels started to drop. So it proves that, hey, if we turn off the tap, it can actually work. But it also gives you a chilling look at just how long these poisons stick around in the system. But man, of all the threats we're looking at, the sheer scale of the plastic problem is just mind-blowing. Let this quote really sink in for a second. We're talking about a future in our lifetimes where there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish, by weight. Just imagine that. A world literally choking on our own trash. So at this point, yeah, things seem pretty hopeless, right? But remember that twist I mentioned? Well, here it is. Our investigation has uncovered something unexpected. A potential solution that might not come from some fancy new human invention, but from this ancient, powerful natural force we are only just starting to wrap our heads around. It's a process called bioremediation. And the heroes of this story, well, they're the tiniest living things on the planet. Microorganisms. We're talking bacteria, algae, fungi. These little guys have evolved this unbelievable superpower. They can literally eat our most dangerous pollutants and turn them into harmless stuff like CO2 and water.
So the big question is, how does this invisible army actually fight back? Well, scientists have come up with two main strategies to basically deploy these tiny cleanup crews. It's like launching a biological counterattack.
Okay, the first strategy is called biostimulation. Think of this like giving a pep talk and a power-up to the local microbes that are already there. You just give them the right nutrients to get them fired up and working. The second strategy is bio-augmentation. This is more like calling in the SEAL Team 6 of microbes. You bring in these pre-grown specialist organisms that are absolute experts at breaking down one specific nasty pollutant.
And what's so cool is how specific this is. It's like nature has this highly specialized toolkit. For something like an oil spill, scientists can deploy a whole cocktail of bacteria that just love to eat hydrocarbons. For heavy metals, they use different microbes that can lock those toxins up. And get this, for radioactive waste, there are these super tough microbes, like one called Deinococcus radiodurans, that can literally survive massive radiation and help clean up our most dangerous messes. It's incredible. So we started this whole thing by looking at how our own creations are poisoning the very cradle of life. But we ended up discovering this ancient, powerful force that could actually help us fix it. Which leaves us with one last massive question to chew on. The poison we made is artificial. But could the cure, after all this, be completely natural?